Welcome back to Chat with Kip podcast. We're going to talk about this is the second part of the series on working with a real estate agent in the home buying process. So I brought one of my top agents, top brokers that's been in the business for a long time. I would say 30 plus years in real estate, acting as an agent and a broker. Worked with a lot of sellers and a lot of buyers, a lot of investors. So he's going to tell us about the home buying process. He also worked with me at KB Home. So we have been knowledgeable about the home buying process for quite a bit now. So welcome, Will Garner.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing me on the show. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you, Will, for coming on the show, man. I want you to kind of tell people about the home buying process from the real estate standpoint, what you look for when they come to you asking to buy a house. So can you talk to us about the steps that it takes for them to buy a house and what you kind of guide them in doing to purchase their home?
Definitely. So first and foremost, when you are at a point where you and your significant other or yourself, you decide that you are ready to buy a home, it's good to have a plan of action in place. You got to know where you are credit wise.
Okay.
Or if you're going to purchase cash, like, hey, how am I going to actually finance this deal? That's first and foremost. So before I take any client out, that's going to be one of the first intro meetings we're going to have where we're going to talk to the loan officer that I'm working with, make sure that we can get you qualified for where you want to be at price point wise.
Okay.
I believe that your home, budget as far as what you incur as far as debt should be no more than 30% of what your income wise. It's no point of hopping into a home and being house poor, and that's just responsible purchasing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's figure out where you are between your combined income between yourself and your significant other at about 30, no more than 35 to 40% of the house that you want to that where you want to be at monthly. And from there, we're going to look at, okay, that gives us a barometer as far as a price point.
Okay.
And then we need to get you qualified.
Okay.
You need to have your tax returns together. You need to have your income statement. So get with your employer, have your W-2s. Usually you can go into your company portals and pull your W-2 information. You're also going to want to have your bank statements together.
Okay.
So having these things up front really helps smooth out the process. And you just some insight too, when you're working with loan officers get inundated with tons of files, especially if they're working and you got a good loan officer, that means they've got a lot of realtors who are sending them stuff.
Right.
So the more complete I can put a package together to give to that loan officer before they just hop into it, meaning that, hey, when we're filling out the loan application, I also want to start uploading these docs.
Okay.
Like, hey, here you go. I don't want to piecemeal all of these documents together for the loan officer because it becomes frustrating for them. I want to be at the top of the list in terms of which file my loan officer is looking at, because people are people. At the end of the day, they're going to say, okay, I need to pay attention to this particular file here. That's the battle right there with home, purchasing a home.
Okay.
Getting that financing together. From there, all of the, as far as what area you want to be in, and the different things that are inside the home are details, right? So of course, everyone has different areas that they want to be in terms of, in terms of logistically from work. If you work from remotely, that's one thing. Or if you work, downtown, how close do you want to be? How much of a commute do you want to have? So those are different details that we start to sort through after we get that pre-approval in place.
Okay. So let me sum it up real quick. So first we're gonna get the pre-qualification, pre-approval letter from a lender. Y'all work together, make sure, see how much they approve for, and then you want to go look out. Then we start looking for the home. After we put together kind of like a questionnaire on what's important to the home buyer, correct?
Absolutely.
So whether it's the commute, the layout, what they need, the school districts, everything. So pre-approval, then kind of get what their wants and needs are as for the home.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then the next steps after that.
The next steps after that. So once we've got that pre-approval in place and we're starting that search, I'm going to set you up with what we do with EXP. I'm a broker with EXP, Atascocita, Kingwood, Humble area, just FYI. So I'm going to set you up on a client profile
Okay.
that's going to really earmark those different indicators that you are looking for. So if schools are a hot point to you, if you know, do you want a home with a pool in it?
Hmm.
I'm going to go in and tailor my, my search results for you. That's going to send the clients that I work with exactly what they're looking for.
Okay.
And then from there, we're going to go out of search. I like to narrow it down. Then, like, let's get in between 3 to 5 homes of what we're
Okay.
looking for. And from there, I want to be ready to make an offer before we start going out and looking for homes. Like, if we're, I don't want to spend months on end just looking at homes because a lot. I'm also a builder as well. So, right, a lot of the homes in Houston are built somewhat similar unless you're going to that higher price point where you're getting more of a custom style home, you know, 500,000 plus. So it just depends on where you are from a price point perspective. But for the most part, a lot of the homes are similarly made. Lot sizes are the same almost, you know, easements, flood, zones. So a lot of the homes have a lot of the same things. Different builders have somewhat different features, but builders still have to, follow, the construction code to provide, a solid home to buyers. And, all builders are building now with Energy Star, appliances and windows and things like that.
Right.
So those are just additional details. And that's why I say really the emphasis is on what we're doing up front to make sure we can get you finance for a
Okay.
home.
Okay. And then after we find the best house for them that fits their needs, they decided to move forward, make the offer. What do we take it from there?
That's when we're writing up the offer, and that's where I come in because we're gonna go in and we're gonna, I'm gonna try to get you the best deal possible.
Right.
You buying a home, we're gonna try to figure out if you know we can get closing costs paid for. What can we get from that seller to get you in the home? What's gonna be the most optimal situation that's gonna work for you as a home buyer? And then that's where I come in and negotiate.
Okay. And then once you negotiate, you got everything done. They accepted the offer that you negotiated. You send it in to the title company, which more than likely will be Skyline Title,
Skyline Title,
right? And then we'll handle the earnest money,
absolutely.
all the
So
information in.
definitely be
Um,
prepared as a buyer to, put your earnest money down, your need option money that you're going to put in place, and then also be prepared to have a down payment in place. There are some lenders that I work with that actually have some really cool products right now where you could even crowdfund
mm,
your down payment. So if you need help with funding, I work with a really cool loan officer, a young lady named Melinda Bellinger with CMG Home Loans,
mm,
where they have a crowdfunding uh, portion in place where the lender does not require them to source where all each dollar is coming from.
okay.
And so that's and then the reason I brought that up is because, as a buyer, one of the most important things is making sure you have all your ducks in a row as far as where your money is coming from to put a down payment, or even if you're purchasing the house cash.
Absolutely. And then once that is done, um, the lender will order the appraisal, surveys, what's ever
Absolutely.
needed, get all the documents into the title company. The title company will start balancing the file.
That's right.
And usually they contact the real estate agent to make sure everything looks good as far as the numbers about 48 hours before they'll schedule closing. Come into closing. What does the buyer needs to be aware of? They should have all the numbers. So by the time they get to closing, everything should be done and figured out. I know you always review the documents for your buyers to make sure everything is um, as it should be before they get to the closing table.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Prior to closing, you're going to, review the closing documents.
All inspections done.
All inspections. By that time you should have already reviewed the seller's disclosure, and you should have had a inspection on the home. I can't, stress that enough. Get an inspection on your home. Make sure, you know, everything is up to par, and it's okay to go through it with a fine tooth comb because this is a big purchase that you're making. It's a life decision that you're making. And by the time you get to the closing table, you should know exactly before you get there, you should know exactly how much you need to bring to closing and, have everything lined out.
Okay. And then after that, we sign documents, takes pictures,
Yep.
hand some keys over, everybody happy,
Yeah,
right?
it's a pretty streamlined process. And as definitely as technology is improving and things like that, what I've seen, the home buying process has gotten easier and easier.
Absolutely. Man, definitely. I enjoy the process myself. How long does it usually take, let's say, from the time that you meet a client from the very, very beginning? What does that timeline looks like from when they's like, hey, well, I'm looking to buy a house?
I think on average, it's a 60 to 90-day process as far as from the time that I meet that client. From the time we're going out and we're start searching from homes, then we're in that 45-day range. So we're gonna take, a week, 2 weeks to find a home.
Hmm.
And then once we contract, then it's 30 days out.
Okay.
We're going, typically it's going to be a 30 days out, or less, as far as what we put the closing
Okay.
for. But so that's why I said, maybe 60 to 90 days, because usually when people start those first, you know, 15 to 30 days, they're going through their pre-approvals,
Absolutely.
working with the lender, and then usually a client will, have a good 2 to 4 weeks where them and their significant other are trying to figure out, okay, what are we doing as far as what do we want to buy, what area we want to be in. And then some people are faster than that. I've worked with some clients where it's been a 2 week process.
Right.
They gotta say, hey, we got cash, we know what we want. Boom. At that point is how fast can the title company get open title and we can close on
Gotcha.
on a deal. So
Yeah.
everybody is different. So in the end, I've worked with clients where it may take them a year to go through credit repair and things like that. And we have some great solutions for credit repair. So if you're credit challenged and you need some help, we've got some people we work with that can help with that as well. And we've talked with those people as well.
Okay, perfect. Okay, besides home buying process, which we'll discuss, I want you to also tell us about EXP Realty and how you work with realtors. And I know you highly recruit
Highly recruit.
realtors for EXP. So give us a little
Definitely.
bit about that as well.
Okay, so yeah, at I moved my brokerage from New Century over to EXP about a year ago. They just have a lot of systems in place that make it really, really easy for a real estate professional to grow their business. I love the platform and how you can build networks. I actually have realtors who are on my team now in other states. So I'm able to, grow in all 50 states and even abroad, over 27 countries as well. So that's one of the reasons when I looked at the EXP model, although I had my own independent brokerage, I said, okay, well, man, these guys are providing the software systems. They've got the KV core systems in place.
Yeah.
And it makes me look good as a real estate professional when I'm able to kind of plug and play. And it saved me money, to be honest with you, from a brokerage standpoint. As a broker, I provided everything for my office, from the management systems to the CRMs for all of the agents, the website. And so EXP provides a great platform. So if you're any broker who is looking to kind of streamline what they're doing and they want to focus more on production while still being able to build a team, then don't hesitate to give me a call. I'll be happy to sit down with
Give
you
me
and help you
information. Let me
grow.
hear
Definitely.
it.
So definitely call me direct, 832-577-2794. And you can always go to our real estate site at newcenturyadvisors.com, NEWCENTURI advisors.com. So if you wanted to join our team, you can get started there. You can book an appointment with me and we can sit down and talk. And that's in all 50 states and abroad as well. We're in other countries. We're in 27 countries, matter of fact,
Okay.
across the globe. So I can recruit team members in Australia if I want to.
Okay.
And as I mentioned, before we're actually brokering some deals with some agents in Colombia. So and that makes it really cool. I can do a deal with an agent in California, and we have an internal network where I'm guaranteed to make sure my commissions are protected from state to state and from country to country.
Seems like I got a lot of processes in place, great tools.
Yep.
So man, I look forward to hearing more, and I can't wait for you to help our viewers and some of my clients find houses and help them through this process. Man, give me, I'll say your top two advice for new home buyers, first time home buyers. What top two items you would give
For
them or
new
advice?
home or just
Let's say just for a first time home buyer.
patience.
Okay.
Patience
Okay.
and definitely, couples, don't kill each other through the process. Um, just have, go into it with the understanding that this is just a new chapter in your life, and you're blessed already to be in that position to be able to purchase, a home for yourself. It's a beautiful thing. You're building wealth. So all the other things that come with it are just the details. And if it's on your heart and if God says the same, you will get to the finish line. So, like I said, don't beat each other over the head over it. Just go through it day by day, and it'll work out.
Yep. Man, thank you so much again for visiting. This is the second time I had Will on the show. Great guy, great person to work with. Y'all should definitely reach out to him. He has a lot of insight on the home buying process, on building, on being a broker, just in real estate in general. I learned most of the stuff that in my past 24 years in real estate from this guy. So very trustworthy. So make sure y'all reach out to Mr. Garner as well, EXP Realty. What's the name of the construction company?
Garner Signature Homes.
Y'all got it. So make sure y'all reach out as well. If you want something custom, this is definitely the guy for you. Man, it's always good to have him. Man, I appreciate it again.
Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely.
Yep. And y'all remember, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. And once again, knowledge is power. Thank you.